America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day. America, fuck yeah. Chris Evans isn't flaming, but he's really buff. Oh yeah. So as you guys can't tell, I saw Bridesmaids, which oddly enough involved a lot of superhero action with Chris Evans. But yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Cap. Is it the best of the Marvel movies? You know, I'm not even gonna rate that. It's just so hard to do right now. Like, with everything that's gone on between Iron Man and the Hulk and all that. I think Iron Man's probably the best because it was more of a surprise. But, you know, still pretty good. But yeah, Captain America, or as we should call it, Captain America the First Avenger, is pretty damn awesome. So where to begin on this? Well, I mean, yeah. It's just a great experience. Definitely one of the more aesthetically driven of the Marvel movies. What do I mean by that? Well, like, everything about it, like, kept this very pulp World War II feel from, like, this cheesy USO patriotic song that they make for Captain America, which I cannot get out of my head to this day. You know, watch the movie, and you'll probably find yourself humming it, or at least... The Star-Spangled Man with the... yeah. Okay, I forgot the tune, but... yeah, The Star-Spangled Man. That's gonna be in my head for a while. And the cast is just great. I mean, Chris Evans... you know, he doesn't remind me of the Human Torch in this role. He's Steve Rogers, and he's okay. But, the big one here is Tommy Lee Jones, who... he just steals the show. Like, 'cause come on, he's Tommy Lee Jones. And Hugo Weaving as the Red Skull, pretty good, but I didn't buy his German accent all the time. More often than not, his accent reminded me of Tommy Wiseau, which is very difficult to get intimidated by. But when he shows that Red Skull, whew, damn. Which, oh man, oh... yeah, that is one crazy guy, who apparently is so evil, he invented bombs that you get into a cockpit and fly to their destination. Maybe that wasn't what they were, but that's what they looked like. I mean, those are like the least aerodynamic planes in the world. So, where to get at this? I'm not gonna spoil much, but I will say that... this is definitely one of the more poignant of the Marvel films. Like, the end is just something that will, like, that they don't pull any punches in the end. They don't go for any jokes or anything like that, and the last line, which could have been a cheesy one-liner, just made me want to curl up into a ball and then curl out and go hug old Stevie Man. Yeah, what else? Yeah. Captain America, yeah, this is definitely a step up from the subpar Captain America movie that was made before, and leagues above those wretched red-brown movies. Yeah, this is like Captain America is a hero. I mean, some people might find that boring, but when he goes to sign up for the army all those times, he just says, I don't like bullies. I don't want to kill anyone. I just don't like bullies. Like, he really is the Marvel equivalent of Superman. Like, he doesn't really, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is that no matter what, he's going to do the right thing. Like, you can tell that from the get-go, and... normally a character would be boring. Hell, you might still find a character like that boring. I think you're incredibly jaded if you do. But still, it is really refreshing to just have a very noble hero who's willing to sacrifice so much. Which it is also interesting because Captain America kills people. Yeah, he doesn't fuck around in World War II. Like, he takes out a gun, shoots people, clobbers them with the shield. He actually defenestrates some people, quite messily, too. Oh god, yeah, I'm not gonna spoil much, but there's Red Mist. There is Red Mist. Howard Stark is also pretty fun, too. I mean, they're really hammering home the Stark is Walt Disney thing, which may be a nod to the whole Disney-Marvel partnership. I don't know. I don't know what Howard's like in the comics, but he's important enough. Yeah, he's actually a major character, which, yeah, that's kind of surprising. I'm a little surprised they didn't get Robert Downey Jr. to play him. There isn't much about the plot you shouldn't already know. It's Captain America, he fights Nazis, and the Red Skull is, like, the biggest Nazi of all. Well, okay, like, maybe a few notches lower than Hitler, but once you get, like, a red face, then that has absolutely nothing to do with Nazism. Okay, awesome. Wow, this is off to a great start. But yeah, what to say about this? Just everything was really, really fun. Like, I loved everyone, all the characters. I mean, the British lady was, yeah, she wasn't bad. Stanley Tucci as the man with the super soldier serum was also pretty fun. But honestly, I gotta give the biggest shout out to Captain America's little commando squad. I really liked them. They didn't get a lot of screen time, but they had, they each had their own discernible personalities. Like, they stood out in their own way, and they were all really likable. Especially the black guy who, like, knew every single language. Like, that guy is awesome. I want that guy to live to be, like, 100, so that after the Avengers, he can go up, knock on Cap's door, he's like, "Hey, Cap, how's it been?" And Cap's like, it's been a while. I've been frozen for, like, 70 years. Come on, man, you know, one of your commandos? Ice does funny things to my brain when I'm frozen for a while. Come on, man, I was the only black guy in the army. Oh, you! Yeah, hey, how's it going? Hey, don't hug me too hard, man. I'm old, and you got super strength. That's not fair. That's not fair. Oh, God. And, yeah, what to say about this? You know, this is really hard to go on for a while about a good movie. Because, like, you want people to see it, and it's no fun giving away all the stuff. I guess I can say that this is probably one of the more reliant films on the other Marvel movies. Like, it's definitely has the most references. And actually, to believe it or not, I think watching this actually makes Iron Man 2 a little better. Like, because now I can appreciate all the stuff that they were foreshadowing before. Like, they were talking about the Stark World of Tomorrow Expo, and, like, you see the Expo, you see Howard Stark, and I think there might actually be a callback. Like, there's one point where Howard is playing with some energy that's sort of a plot device, and I can't help but wonder if that energy becomes the new element for Tony's power core in the in Iron Man 2. Just something I noticed. Maybe I'm the only one, but yeah, something good. But yeah, Captain America, awesome movie. Like, I haven't read much of the comics. I read Winter Soldier, but still, like, this was just a fun experience. Like, I think I like it for the same reasons I like L.A. Noire. It just immerses you in the culture, in the, like, in a time frame and all of that. It's just a fun ride, and, you know, it's, I think it's one of the more simpler of the films, too, because, like, there's definitely a clear cut between good and evil here, but at the same time, I can't help but wonder if that was stylistic, in playing with some of the propaganda films of the era. There was one part where the Red Skull was like, "Don't you understand? I want to see a world with no flags!" And you can interpret that as, like, I want to see a unified world or something like that. A world with no bickering and no nations and no wars. And maybe I'm reading too much into that, but, yeah. The special effects, that's what I'll say something on. The special effects were a little dodgy. Like, there were some areas where you could definitely see the, you couldn't see the green screen, but you could tell it was there. You could tell some things were CGI. And there were times when people were, like, flung up in the air. They didn't fly through it as gracefully. They sort of kind of drifted through it, like they were clearly on wires or something like that. Maybe I'm just being too harsh. It didn't really detract much, though there was this one joke that I don't mind spoiling, because I don't think anyone but people who have been to England or live in England are gonna get. So if that describes any of you, mute the video until I go like this, okay? There's this part where they're supposed to go, basically, they're trying to catch a train. And when I say catch a train, I mean what's that? Zip line onto it. And he's like talking, he's like, alright, we only got a window of, like 10 or so seconds or else we splat. And the British soldier of Captain Scroop is like, mind the gap. I'm sorry, like, I was the only one in the theater who was laughing at that. Which really does, it really does illustrate, you know, that I was very much a periphery demographic for that joke. And for those of you who don't get that, the London Underground, whenever you're getting onto it, there's this electronic voice as well as many signs around that are like, mind the gap, as you're going over, which is referencing basically, don't fall between the subway and the stop. So, yeah, not much to say. Great movie, and as always, there's something after the credits, and screw it. It's not even a spoiler. It's a teaser trailer for Avengers, just full out. Like, oh my god, we get to see the first things. Cap and Thor standing right next to each other. There's Black Widow in the background, and we get to see Loki with a bunch of, like, soldiers. I think they were, like, some of the Red Skull's aftermath. Oh my god, it's so cool! Like, oh god, stay after the credits. It's just so awesome. Like, everything has been building up to this. 2012 cannot come fast enough. Fuck the apocalypse, okay? Avengers, assemble!